Right, what are we talking about today? Lessons learnt. I just recorded this whole stupid thing on time lapse, so I've got to do it all again. Right, so you know what a title split is. I talked about that in my last video. I firmly planted my Dorito analogy in everyone's minds, so that works, that's good. So if you're going to go and find one of these deals, how hard can it be? There are blocks out there. Why aren't loads of people just buying them all? Well, look, that is right, but the trick is how you stack the deal, depending on how you're visualizing your exit. What I mean by that is, if you've got £1 million and you want to go and invest in something to increase the value, by the way, if you have got £1 million, I'm more than happy to have a discussion about helping you do something with that. But if you're at that level, it's much easier to find a deal that will stack just purely to increase the value of the cash invested through the equity. That's not really a problem. However, if you're trying to stack a deal such that you're able to extract all or almost all of the cash that you're putting in, that's a much more difficult thing to achieve. It's much easier and cheaper if you can figure out whether a deal works before you've committed any time and money. That's obvious, but it's not always easy to practice. So those were some photos of some of the deals that did not stack for us. They did not work. There are loads, and openly we've wasted quite a lot of time and definitely money with some really stupid mistakes. So here's the lesson. One of the first blocks that we looked at, and we were really excited about this one. So first pass on paper looked great. The numbers stacked really well. It took some time to get this one up and running. If I remember right, I think we were going through Christmas and New Year as well, right in the middle, which didn't help. The valuation took some time. Obviously, we had to pay for that. While we were waiting, I kept looking at the numbers, I kept looking at the comparables, so everything was stacking up really well. Then the valuation came in. It was a total disaster. Almost 200 grand off the agreed price, and the agreed price was almost 250 grand off the original listed price. So how? What happened? Well, I can answer that question. One comparable and one external staircase. That was all. Did we know about that comparable? Yeah, we did. We didn't think that it would have such an impact. And did we know about the external staircase? Did know about the external staircase. We didn't think that would make any difference at all. So what did we learn? Well, it's all there for you. All the information is there if you choose to look at it. We overlooked some silly details that in hindsight were really easy to spot. The devil is in the detail. So let me talk about another one. And this one really stung. So this was a really nice block. It was fantastic. High level comparables were looking great. The viewing went great. Everything was stacking up well. Valuation booked, very expensive. Number of reasons why, but it was very expensive. So for some reason, I kept looking at the comparables again. And every time I ran my comparables, I was bringing my desktop valuation down and down from my original stake in the ground. So on the day before the valuation, I phoned Dan and I went, mate, this deal doesn't stack. I don't like it. And Dan went, okay then, let's quickly cancel the valuation. So we cancelled the valuation. So a couple of weeks later, we're talking to someone and they said, oh yeah, I know somebody else who's looking at that block. They know the area really well. They're actually going in with an offer at this level. And we were here, they were going in here. Dan and I were like, oh, so what did we do? What would you do? So long story short, we reinstated our offer. We got a valuation booked and we stood back and waited. Valuation eventually comes back, a couple of grand less than the desktop valuation I did when I said, Dan, this deal doesn't work, I don't like it. So what did we learn? Not only do your due diligence, but trust it. If the cold hard facts say the deal doesn't work, or it doesn't work for you, you need to trust it. There's no magic involved. There's no hidden secrets. The valuer is not going to suddenly turn up one day on a beautiful sunny morning with a spring in his step. Oh, Oh yeah, I like that one. I'll bang another couple of 100,000 on that bad boy. That is never going to happen. So if you're going to have a crack at doing this title split business, crack on. It's quite exhilarating, but learn to do the numbers. And when you do the numbers, make sure you've got your feet on the ground and your head's on the right planet. And that you look at the facts carefully. It's all about pounds per square metre, not magic, not fairies. Or you're welcome to come work with us. We've made a ton of mistakes. We've gone through a steep learning curve so that you don't have to. Joint ventures and investment partners, welcome. Not magic, not fairies. That's utter